Okay, it's the 8th of October. It's a Tuesday evening. This will be posted around 8 o'clock. We'll talk about the hurricane in a few minutes, and I'll explain to you why it won't be a 5 or a 4 when it hits the coast, but it'll be more like 2 or 3. But I'll show you that. That doesn't mean there's not going to be some bad and damaging weather, but it just means it won't be that hurricane that's 5 that would just flatten everything to a couple of sticks. Anyway, let's go talk about Pennsylvania weather because we have some stuff to discuss. One, here's Thursday morning's temperatures. A vast area of Pennsylvania is in the 30s. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Reading, Allentown, you get close to in the 30s, but you stay in the lower 40s. Delaware, New Jersey, you're in the mid 40s. But you move this out to Friday morning. You can see the cold air happening. This is Friday morning. Temperatures pretty much in most areas. Let's see if I can back this up one. Most areas of Pennsylvania have slipped into the 30s. Just the city of Pittsburgh and the suburbs and city of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania are still in the 40s. But everywhere else, Allentown, Reading, Harrisburg, Lancaster, all the way out to State College, everybody in the Poconos, everybody's into the 30s. If you look up here towards New York, they're at freezing up in here in some areas. So definitely some frost on the pumpkin coming up this week, but not the coldest temperatures yet. And we go from cold to here's Sunday afternoon, roughly 2 o'clock, mid 70s, even some 80s showing up here by Philadelphia. So another blast of springtime temperatures. But here you can see overnight, Sunday night, this is around 10 and 11 o'clock Sunday night going into Monday morning. You can see that front coming across along with it, rain and some thunderstorms. Temperatures at this hour still in the 70s in Jersey, Philadelphia, but going back towards western PA, temperatures have dropped into the lower 40s. And then you're going to see Monday. Well, this is early morning temperatures on, this is actually Tuesday. Temperatures in the 30s. They're starting to drop. And then we move this into Wednesday. Here's Wednesday morning. You can see there's going to be some clouds and some showers, but also some flurries. And I'll show you who gets the snow in a second. But temperatures are now dropping even lower into the 40s, or 30s, I should say. And you got some freezing temperatures coming around. We get into Thursday. Let's get this in the early morning hours on Thursday. You can see temperatures warmed up in Philadelphia, but that's because of some clouds. But then we go into Friday. Here's your temperatures on Friday. 40s during the early morning hours. During the afternoon, they try to warm up a little bit, and then you have temperatures moderate a little bit into the 40s. But as we get in the middle of the week, temperatures are going to be very cold. I think they're colder than this. This is Thursday morning, and I think they're going to be colder than that. And I'll show you where the snow is going to fall. Now, this is your snow. You can see a little bit out here towards Erie, Bradford, just flurries and stuff like that. But I think most of the higher elevations will see flurries during the week. This takes you to, that was Wednesday. This is Thursday. You can see southern Appalachians here, of the Poconos, I should say, down here. And you can see up here, Wayne County heading up here towards Binghamton, out here west of Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, some flurries. Again, this is just flurry action, but you could see your first snowflakes. And then by Friday, this is your total in flurries. And you can see a couple areas here can see some heavier snowflakes. None of this is going to stick, but just the idea that it's going to be cold enough at night where there could be some flurries involved, or wet snowflakes. And I just wanted to let you. So let's take a look at Milton. Now, the hurricane weakened. It was a 5 and then it went down to a 4, but it was because the eye was transitioning to a different position. Another eye goes into it. And this eye has become wider, more, more what it should be. And then it turned back into a 5. Now, if you remember yesterday, I was talking about this gray area here. That's to the east and to the northeast and the southeast. Everything, if you split this in half, the heaviest rains are to the west. The strongest winds are to the east and southeast, and that's what it looks like right now. This is Mexico right here, and it's strong. And now, why do I think it's going to weaken? Now, this is your water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico. This, if you remember, was the previous hurricane that caused all that flooding in the Carolinas that they're still dealing with. But what it does is, as it comes up its path, and you can see its path, this is colder water here. It churns up the ocean and it creates colder water. Now, here's a pocket of colder water here and here, and then also off of Texas over here and Louisiana, it's colder too. But see, it's going through this warm air right now. It's positioned right about here. Once it starts to get towards this area here, it will weaken. And then when it moves east, you say, oh, the water's a little bit warmer. Yeah, but you're also dealing with land in the rotation. So it will weaken it from a 5, probably down to a 3 before it comes on shore. And these are all the spaghetti plots that you put them together, and you can see every one of them pretty much is close to being in agreement. Some bring it a little further south than Tampa, some take it right over Tampa. I myself think it's about 15 to 20 miles south of Tampa right now. But that area of damage would pretty much go from Fort Myers. Heavy damage would be from Fort Myers north to just to north of Tampa, but then you get the heavy rains up here, so there might be a lot of flooding also up here. But if you're along the western coast of Florida here, you need to get out of the way for flooding waters because of the rotation, and I'll show you the rotation now. Now, this is the rotation of Milton right now, and you can see where it's at here. And this is the track, which takes it really close, if not over Tampa here. The other storm that was holding it back is now moved off to the east coast of Florida. So they were getting pounded with some rain down here. But now this will begin to move uh, towards Florida. Now we're going to move this ahead of time. Let's make this a little bit better here. Um, okay, this is where it's going to be at Wednesday evening around 2 p.m. And you can still see it's off the coast, but here's your rotation. Now, any of the bay areas here, down this time at this point in time, Naples all the way up here towards Fort Myers, Sanibel, Captiva, going up this way, Cape Coral, the water will be being pushed in, so you will experience flooding as this thing comes through. The bay up here at Tampa Bay will not be because you can see the winds are blowing at this point in time from east to west, so you're not getting that inflow. Let's move this to 5 o'clock, and you can still see you have that out the flow here over Tampa going out, and it's still flooding south down here towards Fort Myers and down that way. Around 8 o'clock, you can see it's starting to move closer. Still, the heavier rains are to the north and the west, up this way, and to the south of the storm southeast is your heaviest winds at this point in time. And then at 11 o'clock on Wednesday night, it's getting really close to the shoreline, and you can see the what's going on right now. And again, you might start getting the inflow in Tampa Bay here, which will push water into the Bay areas here. But at this point in time, I think you're more concerned about the winds in Tampa right now. And again, going down towards Sanibel and Captiva, there'll be a lot of damage down this way, going south, and there'll be flooding elsewhere in South Jersey. And then as we move this to Friday, let's see, let's move this to around 5. Let's move it. This is 2 o'clock in the morning, I should say, Thursday morning, and you can see the eye of this is right around Tampa. Milton's right there. And it's still a hurricane at this point in time, but the winds have died down to a level 2 probably by the time it's starting to move inland. And it'll re-strengthen it once it gets out over here, over into the Atlantic. And again, now you have winds blowing around and into Tampa. So as the eye of the storm goes by, the winds will push that water in towards Tampa Bay, and that's where you're going to get your really bad flooding at that point, at least as I see it right now. And again, you can see the winds down here now coming west to east, so still pushing water in, but not like it was before. As we get to around 11 Thursday morning, around 11 o'clock, you can now see it's off the coast. I'm sure Disney's going to be shut down if it's not already shut down. It will be shutting down, and it'll be coming off the coast here by Cape Kennedy, basically. And it's right there. And you can see now, you still have the flow behind this pushing water north to south here by Tampa, and then in from northwest to southeast into Fort Myers and up the coast here. So there'll be some pretty good flooding. And again, flooding will also should be expected up here towards Daytona. Up that way because you'll have the winds pushing the water back in that way, so expect some flooding there. Okay, watch the video yesterday if you're worried about the how many miles an hour. I don't really have any change in what I forecasted yesterday, so it's really not worth repeating. But heavy rains, central Florida, especially heavy rains as this thing moves by. I will update this thing. I will try to do a video tomorrow night, but it's going to be late because of work for me. So I'm not really sure. I have to drive to JFK and back tomorrow. So I'm not sure what all that traffic, if I'm going to get a chance to do a video. But if I don't, I will update this thing very early on Thursday. All right, everybody take care.